Well, quite some time ago, I was asked to write the 10 rules of silver investing. There's a book called Invest Rules that came out of the United Kingdom. And this book had such notables as Sir John Templeton, who's obviously one of the best investors on the planet, or was, and many others in all aspects of investing: real estate investing, bond investing, stock investing, penny stock investing, options, futures, you name it. And there was a classification, and everyone had to give their 10 rules. And they tried to pick the 10, tried to pick the most notable people for each section. So I was given a silver section, and at the last rule, Rule 10, I said that no matter how the situation is, in other words, no matter what the investment climate is, 10% is probably enough. So I can't rewrite my rule, but very shortly thereafter, like about 2 years, maybe 3 at the most, I upped it to 20%. And the reason I did that was I felt that the global structure had decayed to the point between not only the wars that were coming up, and I forecast and did take place, but also the global structure of the financial system was accelerating to the downside. Not that China hasn't been booming the last decade in these type of things, but the global imbalances between China, let's say, and the United States were going to increase, and they have. So 20% is my number. Now, within that structure, is it silver only? And it's not. I think you should have both gold and silver, and actually the older you are, the more you should favor gold over silver, and the younger you are, the more you should favor silver over gold. A couple of reasons. The younger you are, the more you can take on more risk, and if you make a mistake, you have time on your side to make it back. So conversely, the older you are, if something goes wrong, the less time you have to make it back. So it's similar to what used to be taught about bonds and equities. If you're 70 years old, you'd have 70% bonds, 30% equities. Similar for silver and gold. I'd say 30% silver, 70% gold if you're 70 years old, something along those lines. It's basically an individual call. I've got guys in their 80s that don't own any gold, and that is not what I have discussed with them. But they're individuals, and that's what they want to do, and who am I to judge whether it's right or wrong for them? But generally speaking, what I outlined I think is the best. They balance each other out. They really do move to a very similar dynamic, but if you look throughout history, silver actually does the best during a inflationary or currency destruction period, whereas gold maintains better during a more decaying, actually during a deflation, which we can go into, more than silver being more of a currency destruction or an inflationary environment. The general historical precedent for gold is it actually does best in a deflation, where silver does mixed ways in a deflation. Sometimes it does well, sometimes it does not. But the problem with the study of that was that most of that study was done during a period where both of those metals were treated as actual money or monetary metals. So once you're in a fiat system only, where it's only money's exactly what government tells you it is. If it tells you it's gold, but if it tells you it's just this piece of paper backed by really nothing, then that situation has a very small case study. There aren't that many examples. You have the Weimar Republic, where it basically blew up in 1923, and both silver and gold did very well during that time frame. So.